Hello! Welcome back to Genshin and to my channel. So, today we have to do this world quest to get to the next minigame, and then we'll see what that minigame's all about. So we have to speak to Virgil. I must say, the weather today is simply wonderful. You're quite the beautiful young lady. Virgil at your service. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Sorrow at your service. A pleasure. Paimon's Paimon, and is at your service too. Elegant names. Welcome to the court of Fontaine. It is truly an honor to meet the two of you here. Paimon can't stand much more of this. How did you know we're not from Fontaine? With a glance, it is obvious that you're that you're unsatisfied with being bathed in the soft lights of the city, but feel the call of the wild which will never be illuminated by bright city lights. Yes, just like the heroes in the operas. Yeah, that's totally true. Sorrow's an adventure too. Ad Astra, Abyssosque and all that jazz. I knew it. Those of the Adventurers Guild are beggarly. Beggarly? Courageous warriors begging with all their heart to unlock the deepest mysteries of the world. They wake with their eyes to the stars above and sleep with their back to the abyss below. Where there is an unknown domain, there is an adventurer who must simply must explore it. Bravery bursting beyond the brim. I could not help but notice how your gaze is focused on many things. Perhaps you wish to study our sublime arts, our intricate clockwork mecca, or our advanced civic culture. It's okay, I guess. Amazing! Paimon didn't even notice the decorations, but Paimon did notice that Fontaine has a ton of delicious foods that she's never seen anywhere else. Not bad, isn't it? We have a long and glorious tradition of gourmet culture in Fontaine. Naturally, the two of you must often take your meals in the great outdoors, and thus are unfortunately limited in your ability to sample the breadth of Fontaine's superb cuisine. Unable to experience the luxurious richness that is leisurely afternoon tea with a few pastries. I'm listening. Most excellent. My two exceptional friends, have you heard of the Lillacrucis treasure? Nope, hadn't heard of it. Then please allow me to explain. This is a legend of a lost treasure that has been passed down in Fontaine for centuries. Once there was a secret society called the Lillacrucis Forum that was able to attract a great many of the rich and influential. Though they humbly called themselves a forum, their actual plan was to overthrow Fontaine itself. In the end, their conspiracy was exposed and the distinguished members of the forum were engaged in a thrilling battle with the Maison Gardiennage, but were ultimately defeated in the climactic showdown. However, my dear friends, you must know that they were once the richest and most famous of all Fontaine, and they must have gathered a tremendous amount of wealth. Yeah, they definitely did, and they must have a huge treasure vault somewhere. And when you open it, whoa, it's overflowing with nothing but gold, shining like the sun. Correct. They wished to overthrow our beautiful Fontaine, and to do so, they must have amassed a fortune so vast they could literally be said to have more money than Morax. It may upset you to find out that Morax is flat broke, my guy. However, this wealth was never found. So that means that as long as we can find the Lillacrucis treasure, we'll also be filthy rich. Excellent deduction, my dear Paimon. With that fortune and control of synth... Excuse me, Virgil. Anyway, after a lengthy investigation, I have discovered the location of the Lillacrucis Forum headquarters. It can be found amidst the underwater ruins outside the city. Really? What do you think, my dear Paimon, Sorrow? I hereby sincerely extend an invitation to both of you to become my partners, and dive beneath the waves to search for the lost treasure. Even though Fontaine's water is different from elsewhere, Paimon can never forget how she was drowning before being rescued by you. Never fear, I'm here. Yeah, you'll save Paimon again for sure. If that's settled, please allow me to prepare diving equipment for the two of you. I should have the correct sizes. There's no need. Oh yes, I remember. Vision holders may dive freely in our waters, but if it's you, dear Sorrow... Of course, I do not doubt your abilities. Sorrow is a famed adventurer, and she must be very aware of her limits. But it just so happens that I do not share the same capabilities. So I will have to rely on our homegrown technology to keep myself alive. Be that as it may, shall we begin? Yes, please lead the way. Your wish is my command. Please follow me. Our destination is not far from the court of Fontaine. Wow, it looks so heavy, hot, and stuffy. Actually, you can place mist flowers wrapped in cloth inside to lower the temperature. As for the weight, well, just put it underwater. There's no time for delay. Let's go, my friends. Okay. It's so beautiful. I honestly can't get over how glorious underwater looks. They did such a good job with it. I love that they've made it so bright. Right, where are we going? Oh, literally right here. Information and clues. Ooh. Oh my. We can unleash water blade. I like doing this. Although I'm kind of bad at getting the right angle. Ooh. I should probably fight these dudes first. I really don't like fighting these things. Leveling Linny's bow was really hard for me. Because I had to fight so many of the cute things. It was painful. There's another one down here. Was there any point to that? Anyway, let's go to the place we just unlocked. This is very cool. Just gonna get rid of that. Oh, is this supposed to be the tutorial on how to use everything? Whoops. Oh, we have a key. There we go. Wait, what's the Dorito doing here? What are those guys called? I forgot. But why are they under the water? Pretty cool. This music is really nice as well. Can't believe I usually have it turned off. Hello. Can you please stop hitting me? This is very interesting. Dolphin jump. Just gonna feed him so he's not near death. I was assigned to the same lab. I was nervous at first, since everyone said that he was a child prodigy. Since the disaster, such people are even more precious. I thought that since he's a star of the Institute and was recommended by higher-ups, he'd be full of himself, but he's much better than I expected. He's just not especially nice or anything. No obvious symptoms. I made a huge mistake and knocked over an ancient geometry machine that took a lot of effort to bring back from the desert ruins. But then the machine came to life and messed everything up. Though he's a lot younger than me, he's really smart. I can't believe that's how he managed to tame the machine. Maybe taming isn't the right word. Maybe the other engineers will look down on me for using it. But it really did feel like taming. I know the current clockwork machines pretty well, so I can tell the huge technological gulf between the two. Ignoring structure, if we can't solve the power source problems, then it'll be difficult to make any meaningful progress. But I'll still have to be careful. I've never seen Elaine angry, and I don't want to find out what he looks like when he gets angry. A few minor symptoms have appeared. Took the day off. I can hardly believe it. Elaine came to visit me and even brought her sister. She's cute and not afraid of strangers. I'm so happy. We discussed the idea of a thinking machine based on gems and tape circuits. I used the word discussed, but actually I just said things like, oh, or that's really amazing, or how will you do that, whenever he paused, and didn't make any real contributions. He was really into it though, and he behaved very differently than he usually does in the lab. His little sister is probably way smarter than me. A research assistant. I guess it isn't that boring when it flares up, but I want to return to the Institute to help as soon as I can. The additional machines got here. The previous ones are no longer usable since they were completely dismantled. But it did clear up a lot of things, at least according to him. Something about it being driven by the elements in the ley lines, but we can't recreate it with our current level of industrial precision and materials science. I helped with compiling the report, but there's so much I couldn't understand. Apparently, lots of people are secretly unhappy that Elaine has more research resources than them, but if you ask me, everyone's smarter than me and they should all get along. That way we can make the world a better place. His sister said that some of their friends are joining the Institute. I'm looking forward to meeting them. No obvious symptoms. Join the lab as new partners. But now I'm even more confused by their conversations. Why is it I can understand every word on its own, but once they string them all together I can't make heads or tails of it? Jacob is really the only one even close to being on the same level as me. I feel ashamed just writing that. As an adult looking for reassurance from a child as young as Jacob, I feel like I've lost all self-respect that adults should have. Based on their research on prime energy machinery, seems like they decided to adopt this name, Elaine and Renee are thinking about trying to use the characteristics of Ushia and Pneuma to construct a new kinetic core. A few minor symptoms. I may have made a contribution. Well, maybe? I went on a picnic with Elaine, his sister Renee, and Jacob. It was technically supposed to be field research, but the idea came from Elaine's sister and me. We thought they didn't have any life at all outside of their research, so we asked the Institute's director to arrange something. Petrichor's quite boring, but the scenery is quite nice, since you can see the Great Waterfall. I brought a camera from the Institute to take photos for them. I hope there are more outings like this one in the future, so I can take more photos of his sister especially. After all, Elaine is always working and can't be with his sister as she grows up, so these photos will come in handy later when he regrets not spending much time with her. Then he'll be able to see how she was at different times, and it won't sting so much. If only my family had enough money for a camera and things didn't go wrong, I'm sure my mum would have taken lots of photos of me. Renee and Jacob like Alain's sister a lot too. When the four of them hang out, she sometimes acts like an older sister to them, despite being the youngest. It's a really interesting dynamic. Seems to be really interested in the ruins and the stone statues here. Renee also mentioned something about a troop and seals. Even though we went out there to have a bit of fun for once, they were still talking about research. No obvious symptoms. Took the day off. Alain's sister came to see me with Jacob. Alain and Renee couldn't make it because their experiment is at a critical stage. They didn't have to tell me any of that though. After all, with my limited abilities, that I was able to help at all is already fulfilling. I heard that Alain and the Institute's director came to see me separately while I was unconscious. I feel bad that they came all this way for nothing. I wasn't even awake. Still taking time off, but I hope to go back and help them again soon. I found out that they were graduates from the Narzissen-Kreutz Institute, and that made me really happy. They talked about the director and the vice-director, as well as their adventures, and it made me feel like a kid again. The only detail that didn't make sense was the cake the vice-director made, because it felt like a punishment when we had it. After the disaster, I lost contact with pretty much all my friends. I'm so happy we were able to find each other again. I wonder how my friends are doing. They're probably trying to build the Narzissen-Kreutz Institute. Next time I'll go check it out. Talked about the thinking machine again. I had an idea about making a thinking camera, so that it would take photos of those precious to him while he's busy. He thought it was kind of pointless, but that it had security and surveillance applications. They did it! The light bulb came on. I was lucky to have recovered in time to witness this historical moment. It's quite a pity, but I hope Renee and Jacob will make the breakthroughs in their own research topics. I also hope they get better assistance than me. No clear symptoms. Took the day off. There were several visits while I was unconscious. It's a shame all I could do was read the letters they left behind. Jacob left me a note inviting me to his and Renee's lab. There's something they want to talk to me about. I hope I can get out of bed soon. Anne brought flowers for me, but they had already wilted by the time I woke up. Took the day off. I was able to get out of bed today. This is where I first met Alain. For a time afterwards, my first time standing here, I documented the experimental procedures and phenomena based on his oral descriptions. He was trying to start up the machinery below in an ill-fitting lab coat. Renee and Jacob later entered through that door, and Alain would temporarily forget to act the young genius and rush towards them like an energetic kid. I found myself witness to the first successful controlled annihilation reaction. The brilliant light cast a deep, dark shadow, and I believe history was made in that moment. Can someone like me, so excited I knocked over the ink bottle, play a role in such a historical event? Behind the locked door on the other side is Renee and Jacob's lab. It seems access was limited due to the dangerous nature of their research. They are destined to become towering figures in history. I guess Alain moved to another lab. Based on his plan, once the energy problem was solved, he would study kinematics. I'll go greet him later. I wonder how Anne is doing now. I wonder what kind of beautiful woman she'll grow up to be. I'll stop writing here. I don't have much time left. I hope everything goes well. Wonder who wrote that. That was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be when I started reading it, not gonna lie. I guess we'll find out eventually. It'll probably come up in a quest or something. How will we open that door and proceed onward? Ooh, so this is the forum you were talking about. There are so many books everywhere. They must have really been dedicated to studying and conducting research. Paimon would never have guessed that they were a secret society plotting to overthrow the government of Fontaine. As the saying goes, dear Paimon, knowledge is power. This is especially true for the Lilia Crucis Forum. You should understand that with great knowledge comes great power. And once great power is yours to command, there will only be one path left to you. Paimon doesn't really think that logic holds water, but you're the locals, not Paimon, so Paimon will trust you know what you're talking about and leave it at that. They seem to have been researching some amazing things though, and we've seen plenty of stuff that obviously isn't from here on the way. Well, knowing their extensive resources, it couldn't have been too hard for them to get their hands on these kinds of things. After all, this is the fabulously wealthy Lilia Crucis forum we're talking about here. But we've also explored a lot of the domains and seen more than our fair share of cool things during our adventures. Is that so? Then I presume you've also found a lot of treasure? Enough to cover our travel expenses. How fascinating. I mean, what a terrific achievement. I expected nothing less from the two of you. It's too bad that this place is completely flooded. It really feels like a lot happened here, and they made a lot of important discoveries. The water levels of Fontaine have risen before, and according to the folks at the Fontaine Research Institute, they will rise again in the future. Perhaps one day all of Fontaine will disappear beneath the waves. Wow! That'd be terrible. Sorry. All that delicious food drowned and lost forever. Wow. Not to say anything for all the people drowned and lost forever, Paimon. My god. Anyway, let's hope that nothing like that will happen in the future. The future? Who cares about that? I'll be dead long before then, so why should I worry about the people alive then? What do the people in Fontaine of the future have to do with me? Well, I mean, basic human decency, but okay. It's like those people who are like, why should I worry about the climate? I'll be dead before it's a problem for me. It's like, okay, way to be selfish, my dude. I would pay my respects to my family and friends. After all, they raised me and have done many things for me. But have the people of the future done anything for you? For me? So what do we owe them? Isn't that right? It's pretty extreme. That's what I might have said about the issue. Flooding, if I lacked both patriotism and a sense of civic responsibility. Pretty abominable. He's just feeling out the waters, seeing if we're going to agree with him or not, and then tailoring his answers. I don't like you. Anyway, sorry for digressing. There should be a way to open the door below. Let's take a look around and see if there are any clues or keys. I'll also try to see if I can find anything in the associated files, my dear friends. Alright. Ooh, we've got Numa and Uzia. I think that's how you say it. So if I do a little... Which one does he do? He does that one. So if I pick up this, turn that to... Is there another one? Oh. There we go. I don't really understand why Linny couldn't do that, but sure. We did it! Brilliant, now we can continue further into the Institute's depths, as expected of a seasoned adventurer. Eh? Aren't we investigating the forum? So is it a forum or an institute? Sorry, I misspoke. Forgive me for asking this out of the blue, but did either of you ever run into anyone who was looking for me? Or did you tell anyone else about our encounter? Paimon doesn't think so. What's wrong, Virgil? Do you owe someone a ton of mora? No, of course not. It just occurred to me that I should let you know that there are many greedy goons who are also after the Lilia Crucis Forum's secret treasure. They're very different from us. They're willing to do anything to achieve their goals, so I've always refused to work with them. As I know the most about the treasure's whereabouts, they have me in their sights. Yeah, right. I've spent a long time hiding from their prying eyes and looking for partners I can trust. It is my luck to have finally met you two, my dearest friends. If we are your dearest friends after 20 minutes of knowing you, I worry. So that's what's going on. I don't trust you at all. In any case, I'm just relieved to hear that you never told anyone else about me. Phew. I just know I picked the right people to be my partners. Only your best friends can be relied on to keep your secrets. Yep, don't worry, Virgil. We won't tell anyone else about you. I have Oh... I think we're gonna die here. I have complete confidence that you will never ever tell another soul about me. Let's go! The treasure's waiting for us. Yep. Here we come, treasure. I'm on your dumb as hell. So beautiful with the music. Oh, it's killing me. Oh. Oh, okay. We're gonna ignore all the exploration-y stuff for now. Now that I got the waypoint, I can just come back whenever. I'm a little concerned.
The night is cold.
Good heavens, Sorrow, you certainly have a way with these mecha. Phew, we must be getting close to the treasure. After all, we've already run into the guards. Though Fontaine's achievements are as numerous and dazzling as the stars in the sky, the clockwork mecha are undoubtedly the most exquisite of them all. Though, perhaps I shouldn't overpraise. One of the most exquisite. You must have travelled via aquabus when you visited the court, correct? Tell me you've seen the intricate steam bird as well. In Fontaine, even blacksmithing is done by mecha. Why, the Maison Gardiennage didn't even have to lift a finger to beat me up. They just sent out some garda mechs. And it hurt so much there was no choice but to submit. Beat you up? I mean, beat up the bad guys. Why would they ever beat me up? Whoa, if mecha are already so advanced, then surely the people of Fontaine don't need to do anything for themselves anymore, and can just leave everything to machines. That's a good one, my dear friend. You're just adorable. It's a lot cheaper to hire a human than to buy a clockwork mecha. Or to put it another way, no one and nothing can infringe on a Fontaine citizen's right to work. Oh boy. Paimon, why don't you show him that trick of yours again? Beep. Construct. Beep. Well, fascinating. In any case, though, I think everyone would agree that humans and machines are not the same. Though, all the places we've been to have their own charm too. It's not like Fontaine is just better than everywhere else, right? My friend, surely you cannot be serious. How can there be any place in Tevat that's better than Fontaine? Ah, Paimon was just trying to say that other places were also really special too. Virgil, have you ever set foot outside of Fontaine? My dearest Paimon, you should know there's an old saying in Fontaine. All waters lead to Fontaine. It's not the people of Fontaine who should go out and see the world, but all the world should come and witness Fontaine's glory. Don't get it backwards. Do people really say that, or is it just you? Of course they do. Anyway, my friends, why don't we keep going? The treasure's still waiting for us deep inside these ruins. Let's go, Sorrow! Yeah, let's go. Oh, it was actually a thing this time.
Hip. And now I'll make it all disappear. Just kidding.
Oh boy. Where did it go? wait for my stamina, but where's... Okay, that's where we were. Have I gone the wrong way somehow? This can't be it. Ow. Oh, there's a mechanism, okay. My bad. This is kind of cool though. It's very calming, isn't it? The water sounds. I really like the water exploration. Alright, this way.
My guiding star.
Not quite enough.
And now I'll make it all disappear. Just kidding.
Okay. Gonna leave that for now. Ooh.
Guess this'll go into my magic pocket.
There are suspicions of some sort of association or group activity among the leaders, with the so-called master involved. Whilst they are very vigilant towards external investigations, there is currently no evidence of aggression or any invasive nature, so the case is not being pursued through official investigative channels. I don't know why I had so much trouble with that. Objective remains unclear and further investigation is required. There is reason to suspect that the Institute may be the hub of these activities. Oof. Feed you another universal piece. Are you awake?
Not now.
And voila!
It's just so satisfying. Okay. According to my research, this should be the treasure vault at the Lilia Crucis Forum. The riches we seek should be within. Whoa, a treasure vault? But this doesn't look like a vault at all. Paimon thought the vault would be full of glittering golden mora as dazzling as the sun. You should know, my dear friends, that just as the truly wealthy do not flaunt it in anything as shallow as appearances, real treasure... Oh, Paimon knows what you're about to say. The real treasure was the friends we made along the way. I was about to say that the real treasure is not so easily revealed, but you're also exactly right, Paimon. I have to say, I could have never come up with anything so wise and philosophical. Shut up, Virgil. Regardless, the purpose of our expedition is to uncover the treasure the Institute has hidden away for centuries. The Institute or the Forum? And I'm convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that the treasure is hidden in this room, so let's hurry up and get in there and find it. Are you sure? Paimon doesn't see anything in there besides a few broken ruin mechanisms. Your words wound me, my friend. We're partners who are seeking the Institute's long-lost treasure together. Do you really doubt me? Okay, so is this a forum or an institute? About that. Let's just say that different records refer to it differently. But my dear Sorrow, the name isn't the important thing. We should keep our eyes on the prize. What we're talking about isn't merely a matter of hundreds of thousands, or even millions of Mora, but a vast secret trove of hundreds of millions of Mora sleeping within the vault. Hundreds of millions of Mora? And there are other priceless items in the vault too, like there's the all-powerful Lilia Crucis Holy Sword, which can pierce through armor and destroy the soul itself. A magical item powerful beyond compare. Whoa, Paimon had no idea. And it's all in this vault? Precisely, and if you ask me, every moment that we spend bantering here increases the risk of us being beaten to the treasure by all sorts of scrupulous ruffians who will stop at nothing to steal it. We can't let that happen. It's our treasure. See? You get me. Then in that case, Sorrow and Paimon, please go forth and recover the treasure. I'll make sure to watch the rear. Let's just go. What's the worst that could happen? What are you saying, Sorrow? If we don't beat the bad guys to the treasure, they might try to take it from us or force us to split it with them. I'm not worried about that. Paimon understands. You're worried the vault might be protected by some sort of mechanisms, right? Yeah, there's always traps at the end. Virgil. What's wrong, Sorrow? Don't do anything that I wouldn't do. Don't worry, I won't let anyone get through. Oh, and please let me know when you find the treasure. This is very sus. The camera. Now that you mention it, this Lilia Crucis forum really did a lot of research, didn't they? We saw so many cameras along the way. They were probably used to record the results of their experiments, right? And there's a notebook too here. Let's see. Yep. It's hard to make out a lot of the words. It says, when something goes out of control, break something else, something, so damage can be controlled. This machine, why does it look kind of familiar? I think we've seen it before. Well, since this order brought all kinds of mechanisms from other nations to this place, this is probably something they hauled over from some distant ruin as well. Wah! Paimon just had a really scary thought. What if the so-called treasure is just their research findings and has nothing to do with piles of Mora at all? Knowledge has value too, Paimon. You're right, Sorrow, but Paimon still wants Mora. If we had hundreds of millions of Mora, we could build a pretty house and invite all our friends over, just eating great food and having fun day after day. Paimon sure hopes this ruin thing isn't going to suddenly stand up. It's just a ruin, Grader. We can handle it. Paimon's not worried about you being strong enough. Paimon's just scared you'll break the treasure. We don't even know if there's a treasure to break. There has to be. There is, right? There's a glass wall here, and it seems like there's a bunch of water behind it. Look, there are cracks in the glass. That looks dangerous. If the glass suddenly breaks, who knows where we'll get swept off to. Let's find the treasure quickly and get the heck out of here. Kinda want to break the glass, not gonna lie. Huh? What's that sound? Virgil, what's going on? I'm so very sorry. I made a terrible mistake. It was only during our expedition that I realized this wasn't the former grounds of the Lilia Crucis Forum, but rather the ruins of the Institute of Natural Philosophy. There's no treasure here, but there are lots of experiments on machinery and energy. And now, my dearest friends, another experiment is about to begin. As for treasures, it would be wrong to say there aren't any at all here. As seasoned adventurers, I'm sure you've accumulated quite a bit of Mora and other precious items over the course of your journey. I will return after the conclusion of the experiment to collect the treasures you're sure to leave behind. Ah, and don't you worry, my friends. I'll be sure to put them to good use. I mean, they weren't even subtle with this. Like, he was overtly weird. Virgil, you lied to us. I figured he was going to do something like this. So you knew and still decided to step into my trap? You're the kind of person I despise the most. So arrogant and disdainful. You blasted fools all treat me like an idiot. Even a couple of foreign hill... Whatever. According to the records here, this machine is a special ruin grader. No matter how good you are, even if you can handle ruin guards, you're still only made of flesh and bone. As to what makes it special, I'll leave you to find out in your own good time. Goodbye, my dear partners. Zoro, get ready. I mean, it's a ruin grader. Fight and survive.
My guiding stars.
Somewhat uncooperative research subject.
Step right up.
Why were they over there? I don't understand. Why are you healing? It's invulnerable.
The night is cold. Teamwork is tricky.
My Shangling build isn't the best. Please ignore the damage numbers. Oh, okay. Under the relentless assault of the raging waters, the ruin guard... Whatever. That was really quick again. Follow the current. Nothing I can really do here. See where we're going. Talking about the rising water levels. It is quite sad. I like the speedy things, they're quite fun. We've got waypoints, Paimon. Don't worry about it. Ooh. Well, that was weird. And pretty cool. Well, that was what we were required to do through the rest of this event, so we'll come back to that next time, but that was very interesting. I'm also curious about that ill person. I wonder what illness they had and stuff. They did mention Anne, and I'm pretty sure that name is associated with a quest at some point, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll get to it eventually. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye!